We help people buy and sell homes all the time in a particular region of El Paso, and that region is the Northeast. We're talking 79934, 79924, and at the bottom 79904. Real quick disclosure, we used to kind of do a series about the central area, but it's so small and most of it's kind of more city living. There aren't a lot of neighborhoods in that, so we're just kind of absorbing the Northeast and the Central into one big section. So we're gonna basically share some of our favorite neighborhoods. There's a lot of them, but these are some of our favorites. We're gonna start south, work our way up. The first one we're gonna talk about is Manhattan Heights. This is a beautiful area, as you are seeing from the footage. I love this area because it's so close to downtown. It's nice, lots of single-story, cute, charming homes. And I love it because Memorial Park, which in my humble opinion is arguably the best park in all of El Paso, is right there within walking distance. The Rose Garden is there. Yep. Great views of the mountains there. So tell us a little bit about Manhattan Heights.
So like you said, Manhattan Heights, beautiful neighborhoods, historic pretty much neighborhood. The homes are gonna be pretty much 1900. I mean, I found one or two that are 2023, but realistically, homes there are I'm gonna say they're gonna be average 1950s. Mm-hmm. Very, very beautiful homes. A lot of them are well taken care of. Some of them are not as great, but like John has mentioned it, great views, park, and also a pretty good amount of amenities close by.
For sure. Tell us prices.
Now prices. $68,000 is the lowest price point. Obviously, that's a home that needs a lot of work, pretty much remodel. And then the highest price point home was $480,000. I'll say the average in that neighborhood is going to be $300,000.
And actually, I'm surprised that it's not a little bit higher. I know some of the homes do need work, but I've also seen plenty of them that have already been remodeled, upgraded. This is one of the few places where you'll consistently see hardwood floors, which is really uncommon here. It's just that time when they were building those homes. A lot of them, I think, have been converted into Airbnbs. Yep. So I think those homes are awesome. And tell us what the $68,000 was. I don't want anyone to think like, oh, I can go get a house in Manhattan Heights for $68,000.
No, I mean, it was pretty much like a home from the 1900s, brick, and then it was pretty much remodeled, like gut job. It was an investor property. You're not going to be able to move into that property.
Just like a cinder block.
It was almost falling apart, kind of a thing. So it's almost you're buying just a lot and then you have to rebuild whatever.
Which would have been a great price if the lot was decent, $68,000 just for the lot. Yeah. So somebody was happy. All right, let's move up further north. Next area. Now this area is kind of small. Honestly, it's going to be hard to find a home in this area because there aren't that many, and the people that own them probably aren't, in any rush to give them up. But we call this area Mountain Park. Tell us a bit about that one.
Also a pretty popular neighborhood, older homes as well, not as old as Manhattan Heights. The homes here are gonna be built from 1956. I found a couple 2010, but for the most part, 70s, 1970s, 60s, 80s is what you're gonna find there. Now the prices there, you're gonna start about $215,000, and you're gonna find some homes up to $700,000. I'll say the average in that neighborhood is gonna be between $300,000 to $400,000.
Again, that strikes me as low. Like some of these, this area is really cool. We were talking about, it's kind of like the west side, but on the east side, just a small little part. Because on the west side, we have the houses are kind of built up into the hills a little bit more, so you can get elevation and look out over them. The northeast doesn't have as much of that, but this area does have that. Long, single-story ranch houses that look really cool with great views.
Yeah, definitely. Beautiful views. And like you mentioned, besides that, it's a very popular neighborhood. Some of the homes there are gonna be a little bit more expensive than the 700, but for the most part, it's rare to find those higher price point homes.
Absolutely. I saw a crazy home. You might have seen it. We showed somebody it. It was this house with the indoor pool. Yeah. It was in such rough shape, but the location was unbelievable. Yeah. But yeah, that's a really cool area. So, okay, let's keep going north. Now, we go north of 375, and that puts us into an area called North Hills. Love this area because it's accessible to this Chuck Heinrich Park, and you can take trails into the Franklin Mountains, so people mountain bike, run, all sorts of stuff in there. That's a great area, really popular with military. Tell us about those.
North Hills, another very popular neighborhood like John mentioned. It's gonna have homes pretty much from 1989 to 2012. I would say 265,000 is the lowest price point home, all the way to 500,000. There's a few that are higher price point, but that's gonna be the average. Beautiful neighborhoods, views of the mountain, parks, like you said, very popular with military folks for sure.
When I think of the typical North Hills house, I think big stucco 2-story house on a big lot, maybe 0.2 to a quarter-acre lot. Yeah, definitely 90s, but lots of space, well-landscaped yards. Yeah, that's a really great area. Again, not super huge, like an area of the Far East, but a really cool neighborhood.
Yeah, and it's very popular. Like we were talking, some of these neighborhoods, they're just on the mountain and they're so beautiful that a lot of people that want to be on the west side, they ended up being in this side of town, maybe because it's just a little bit more convenient location. But I call it the little pocket of the west side on the northeast.
Yeah, for sure. And next area, this is a really interesting one, Campo del Sol. We have done videos on this. We'll do an updated video, but essentially, Alex, you tell us. Explain to people that don't know anything about it yet.
So Campo del Sol is a new development, new from El Paso, right in the northeast. It's, I think, one of the few neighborhoods that you're gonna have HOA with pretty good amenities, in my opinion, especially for the price. The price right now, I think it's about $70 or so a month. They do have a lazy river, lots of space. They are gonna build different sections of the neighborhood, different phases. Right now they just finished phase 1. They're in the process of finishing phase 2. The homes are pretty affordable for the area. They start around $250,000. You can find up to maybe $350,000. There's about 4 different builders in there, and they're also renting. There's a section next in Campo del Sol that there's only just rentals. Now that whole community is very popular. I have noticed lately on the news, at least on FitFam, that there's been some problems with the flooding in certain streets in that neighborhood. But it's very popular. Even though people don't really like HOAs, I feel like a lot of people justify that one just because it is really nice. Great location as well, easy access to the freeway. So it's one of the, I'll say, up and coming and popular neighborhoods.
For sure. And just overall, to plug the Northeast, that's probably one of its biggest pros is that the traffic there is still great, quite honestly. Like the horizon in the Far East can get a little tight. Sometimes downtown, central, during work on 10, that can be tight. In the west side, especially right now with all that construction, but the Northeast has always been pretty good about traffic, so they're still winning in the traffic category. But yes, Campo del Sol, super interesting, especially if you're interested in new builds.
Yes, definitely. Lots of new builds. There's still a lot of space to grow. So definitely a lot of good options there.
For sure. And speaking of space to grow, now we're going to kind of go to our furthest and northern eastern location, Mesquite Hills, and this kind of new area of Futureland. Tell us about those.
So Mesquite Hills, I'll say it's also one of the most popular neighborhoods in the Northeast, not only with just most people, but also with military buyers and sellers. Obviously, this is a very popular neighborhood, not only because it's a good community to base, but also the homes there. The homes there are going to be 2005 to 2022, so it's a newer area of the Northeast. Homes are going to start around $170,000 and they go up to $330,000. There's a couple homes a little bit more, but that's going to be your average. Now, it is a little bit interesting because, most of the neighborhoods, you're going to have a gas station literally right around the corner. Here, you do have to drive maybe 5 minutes. It's not, for me, a big deal, but it is slightly more separated than the other neighborhoods. Now, Futureland, as we're going to call it, is literally attached to Mesquite Hills. It's a pocket of neighborhoods that new construction is just being developed. A lot of different builders are doing new construction. They're starting about, I'll say maybe $230,000. So again, another up and coming neighborhood right there with a lot of new construction. I've had some people complain about the location just because it's right next to a road called Railroad Road, which is a lot of industrial stuff and a lot of stuff that for some people it might not be the prettiest looking area, but that's a little bit separated. Again, everything is growing north, and I just see everything eventually expanding so much that everything is just going to merge, Campo del Sol and all those little pockets that are building new homes. So very popular area.
All right, the Northeast, those are of course not the only great locations, but those are just some of our favorites. So we like to put these videos out for people. We hope that people that might be relocating find them of value, or if you're from here, maybe you find them of value.
And if you're thinking about buying or selling a home in the Northeast, reach out to us.